2
So
more
you're
days.
you're telling me you're not going to pay me? All right, I'll lean the place then. You know, buddy, I just give you a deal like you wouldn't believe.
I hired a contractor to cut down some trees on my property. Did I accidentally rip him off, or was he trying to scam me? Stick around to find out who got played in this wild drama, all captured on hidden camera. Alright, story time. So I hired this contractor to clear some trees on my property. Sounds simple, but oh man, things got messy. By the end of this video, you can decide if I'm the villain or the victim in this deal. But first, let's rewind to see how this all started. From one contractor, he came highly recommended. We agreed on a price of $5,500. Fast forward to day 4, the work was being done. He called me and said, this is way more work. It's going to cost $10,000. I reluctantly agreed. Fast forward to the work is now done. I received the final bill. It was over $22,000. My cousin was filming this interaction. I blurred out the face and company of this gentleman because it was 3 years ago and I don't want any issues.
Days,
Right.
I charge only 5,
Okay.
$750.
Right.
So that took $1,500 off.
Right.
The removal of 39 loads.
Right.
Normally, I was giving you a deal at 200.
Right.
Took it down to 150.
Okay.
Right. So that showed you 19. That saved you 1950. Didn't charge you any float time
Right.
in and out because that saved you $500. On the saws, the guy on the saw only charged you for 5 and 6 days, so that changed $450. So what it did, it brought it down from 19.7 down to 17.2.
Right.
All right. So we do the cash for that, and then the HST goes on the 97.18
Right.
minus your 2,500. So it brings it down to 72.18 for a check, and then cash for 86.
Right.
So the days I were in here started on the 16th. We
Right.
folded some stuff in. So the 16th through the 19th I was here,
Okay.
and 22nd to the 24th.
Right.
So some days overrun I didn't charge
Right.
for.
Right.
Right? Yeah, 4 days there and 2 here.
Right. And that's the week you were.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm just shocked by the price, to tell you the truth. Like that was my concern, right? I mean, because originally it was $5,500, which we knew wasn't going to happen.
You were up to here for
Right.
$5,500.
No, I understand that.
But when you marked all those trees, I guess you didn't realize what was in the top.
No.
Yeah, no, I didn't want to leave you. I never leave a place a mess. Put it down.
Right,
You know, if you look at anybody, you talk to any of my jobs, and then I don't leave something half done,
Right.
where it gets into something like you. And I know it costs you more money, but the thing is, I phoned you on it and just said, hey, there's a lot more in here than that.
Well, that's the thing, because we talked last Saturday, and it was $8,700 up until that point, and then you said about 2 more days.
So I had 2 more days, and then I took all the rest of the material out.
Right.
So there was 39 loads I took out.
Right.
Plus I burnt 6.
Right.
Easy.
Yeah.
Oh, I was putting them on, trying to save you money there too.
Right.
Oh, I had a storm load here. Plane flew over, took a look, but nothing they can do because this is the season you can burn.
Of course. Right.
You're limited. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, back to this, it's just again, I was shocked by it when you said, because it was $8,700 last Saturday.
Yep.
And then plus 2 more days, so I figure about $1,500 a day on the machine plus whatever labor. So that's about $3,000 without any extras. So that's like 11,700. So it's like 12 grand. And then when you said 19, like that's $7,000 extra dollars, right?
Well, I had to haul all the loads really.
Right.
But I hadn't got all the roads out till the.
But I didn't know it was going to cost, because the original plan was to bury them, and then you did say you couldn't.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if it was $250 a load or $200 a load. Like, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I would have.
Well, that's cheap. I took it down to 150. That's even cheaper.
Right. Yeah.
So you don't get material loaded with an excavator and trucked away and tipping fees for cheaper than $300 in most cases where you got to truck it, right?
Right.
So I had a guy to take it, but I still got to go back and sort the stumps out of it for him. So he's got the stump grinder.
Right.
This sort of
Well,
stuff.
it's just because that's at 150 times 40 loads, like that's over $5 or $6 grand right there.
Well, 39, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, $4 grand. Like that's a lot. Like if you would have called and said, "Hey, it's going to cost $4,000," or it's going to be 25 truckloads, it's X dollars, I probably would have told you just leave it in a pile.
Well, picture it this way: you're working,
right?
You're cutting down trees, you're piling brush, and as you're getting loads in and loads out.
Right.
So now you want me to, if you took something and all of a sudden you pile it all up.
Right.
So now you got a bigger mess to work with trying to remove it.
Right.
And then what do I do for you? I leave you one great big goddamn massive.
Right. Yeah, it's just the price. I mean, that's
well, that's a hell of a deal for taking all that material.
Right, and I don't doubt it. I just wish I knew, like, to do from the original quote of $5,500 to $20,000. Like that's 400%
and from
more.
Marking 30 trees to marking over 200.
Right.
Come on, man.
But I know I'm not.
I'm trying to be as fair as I could with you.
I understand, but that's a lot of money, right? Like my budget was, when I called you and you said it was going to be a week, and I left a voicemail because I had budget constraints, right? So I'm concerned that I can't even pay that, because that's a lot more money than I had budgeted for this, and that's the issue, right? Because
you're saying you can't pay this?
I can't pay $18,000 from the original quote of $8,700 plus $3,000, or the original quote of $5,500, and then as of last Saturday it was $87 plus $3.
As of this right here, I've taken all that off of it and cleaned this whole job up.
Right.
Right. And
I'm not saying you didn't do the work. You did fantastic work. Don't get me wrong. You did a great job.
You know,
But you have to call me.
Well, I called you again. You told me you marked it. I told you to mark what you had.
Right.
And you wanted the driveway widened.
Right.
You didn't tell me this lot's going to sink.
Right. Well, I didn't.
I had to bring in gravel.
Right.
Right. Okay.
But you shouldn't you call me and say there's going to be extra costs? Like, you can't just do the job.
Well,
you knew I had budget constraints when I called and said I'm concerned it's over a week's worth of work, and that's the issue, right? I mean, like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
So the job's done now.
Right.
You knew I was in here.
Yeah.
Right. You knew I was in here doing the job.
Right.
You enlarged the job.
Right.
So I'm not going to leave a job all for you or anything else like that.
But you should call me and tell me that it's going to cost more money. That's the issue.
I called you and I said it was at 19.7. Right?
That was after it was done.
Yeah. Well, that wasn't. It
was
done,
Wednesday.
And I had to come. Yeah. And Thursday I had to come back in, finish up over in here, take that last tree down because I had to take that up. I spent another 3 hours in here evening up this lot so it doesn't look a cavity or nothing like that. I don't know what to tell you, man. I did a good job.
I know you did. It's fantastic. This is exactly what I'm looking for. But again, if you would have told me it was going to cost $18,000, like I said on the phone, I wouldn't have done it, because that's a lot more. Like, I can rent a machine for a month for $8,500. Now it doesn't get rid of the stumps. It doesn't get rid of the trees. It doesn't get rid of the brushes.
No, you don't get a job like that.
Well,
like I had 2 trucks in here, 4 guys.
Right.
And I got to pay them.
I understand. I get it. You're running a business.
Hey.
But at the end of the day, you have to let me know that it's going to double in price from Saturday to this Saturday. It doubled in price.
Well, it wasn't actually. I think I said 87 or wherever it was.
It was 87 last Saturday.
Yeah,
plus
that's what basically was. I was writing enough stuff down. I might have had a little bit more at that time. I don't know. I just give you a basic idea of what it was going to be, but up to that point. But I hadn't taken any of the loads away.
Right.
And this place would have been. Well, it wouldn't have looked good.
Right.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. It wouldn't be any damn good at all. It would look like, say, who did this job?
Right. Yeah, but again, I mean, if you want to make it look good, but now it's that making it look good is costing me more money, right? For you to make it look good so you look good. Well, I don't care if it looks like trash. It looked bad before you came here. So that's why $18,000 is a lot of money.
I know.
Like, and if you would have said,
and I've done 19.7, more than 19.7 job, so what it works out to is, what did I say it works out to? $9.7 and $8.6. $15,818 owing.
Right.
And then that's with your $2,500 of that. So the total was $18,318.
Right.
That's the bottom line.
Right. So it was $10,000 more than when we spoke last Saturday.
Yep.
But if you would have told me that, I would have said I would have said stop. Stop at, $10,000 plus tax. Because that's basically double the budget I had.
Yep. Well, I tried to do a job, man. I'm just trying to get a job done in here.
I get it.
I don't have any problems with people that
But it's
do
one thing to
quality
quote
work.
properly.
Yeah.
Like if you would have said it's gonna, you know, on ballparking it's gonna cost $15,000 to $18,000 by the time I'm all said and done.
Yeah, but if you had said to me, stop at 10, if you had said to me, I would have stopped at 10.
Right.
I already told you it was at 8, 9. You knew.
Yeah,
I said
you said 2 more days.
And I said I had a couple more days and I had removal to do.
You didn't say. I don't remember the removal. And if you would have said removal's 200 a load or 250 a load, and you know how many loads you have.
Yeah. But I'm not even charging you the 250 or 200. I'm charging you 150.
Right.
So I'm trying to give you a break.
I get it. I understand it. But that's more money than I have. Like I don't have that kind of money to give out because I didn't have a budget of $18,000. Right? And that's why when you came at 55 originally, I was like, okay, great. And then when you called back, it was 87 plus 2 more.
So you're telling me you're not going to pay me?
I'm not paying you that amount.
You're not.
I will not pay you that amount. Because you didn't. Where's the quote? Where's the price? Where is it in writing that said it's going to cost this much?
All right, I'll lean the place then.
You plus the 2 days, which is an extra $3,000, so it's 11,700. If you want to add tax to it, it's like 13 grand. I can pay you 13 grand, but I already gave you 2,500, so it's 13 grand minus the 2,500. So whatever that number is, I can give you that because that's what we agreed to. Anything more, I don't know what you want to do.
Give me the 13 grand.
I don't want to screw. Like I'm not trying to screw you.
You know,
here.
buddy, I just give you a deal like you wouldn't believe.
I get it, but you should have told me up front that it was going to cost $18,000. You've done this for 20 plus years, right?
I know.
So I don't want. I'm trying not to screw you. I know
I
you're
just thought you were a fair guy to come in there and then.
I am a fair guy, but if
this
you
sort of stuff, but and I already knocked money off of it.
I get it.
I got to pay these guys. I got to pay fuel. I got to pay trucks.
I understand.
You know, but Jesus.
But for you to say that, it's like it was literally $11,000 on Saturday, and then Wednesday was $19,000. That's the conversation we had. The last Saturday was 8,700 plus 2 more days. I'm again saying 3,000 for those 2 days, so it's 11,700, and then now it was 19,700. So it's $8,000 for 3 more days.
So you're saying I should have just left a big pile of shit in the middle?
Yes.
Really?
Why not?
Oh man. What are you going?
I would get rid of it slowly. It's taken me all summer to get to the point that you saw it at. It was slow, but I have the tractor. I have other equipment I could bring in to slowly pick away at it over time. So just to go ahead and not tell me that you're going to take 40 loads away, like that is crazy.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what to do. I mean, you do good work. That price is outrageous to me.
It's not outrageous. It's not. If the going rates of trucks right off the bat is $150 an hour.
Right.
So by me taking away your material,
right,
had the tipping fees at the other end.
right.
You understand?
Yeah.
I got tipping fees at the other end.
Right.
And then now I still got to sort the stumps out of that.
Right. Yeah, but again, why didn't you tell me that it's going to cost $4,000 to get rid of the brush?
Well,
Right?
I just thought that you knew how the machine was in there, you knew it was working, and you knew it was going to be a job. It's not.
But then
that,
why quote me $5,500 originally?
Well, why mark over 200 trees?
Well, then you should have given me a new quote, right? That's the thing.
Well, I guess I should have.
You should have.
I guess it's my mistake. I didn't give you a quote and just assess it and put a big number on it, and you said don't even bother. I guess I could have went on and did a job somewhere else.
Right.
So I lose money on this job. Now I lost money on the job I didn't get to.
Right.
So I guess I'm going to have to eat $5,000, am I?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. If you would have told me it was going to cost more money, then you should have said, hey, because if you look at your quote, the original quote says 10 to 20% overages. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And then obviously the original quote was invalid.
No, it's invalid.
So, and I know that.
All right. You write me a check for 15 and I'm happy.
15?
Yeah.
Well, then I already gave you 2,500. So that's 17,500.
Or the 13 plus your HST.
If we could, because I gave you 25.
Yep.
If I write you a check for a total of 15,000, I don't know what that is. So whatever that ends up being, 2,500 or whatever, plus the 2,500, or 12,500 plus 2,500. So it's 15,000 out of my pocket. You're still eating a bunch. I get it. And I'm not trying to screw you. I was not prepared to pay $18,000. And if you knew a job like this would cost X amount of dollars, then at least tell me that it's going to cost. You know, on average, these jobs cost 15 grand or 20 grand.
No, you never know what you get into sometimes, and you know.
Right.
And you had no idea what was buried in here. You had stumps buried in here that you didn't even see.
Right.
That I didn't leave. I took it away just so you don't have to run into the big rocks. You don't have to run into stumps when you're doing anything. All you're going to do now is dig and backfill.
Right.
All right.
So, I mean, sorry it didn't work out. I mean, you're a nice guy. You did great work. It's just I wish I knew the price up front, right? That's all I wish. Because I would have said stop. If you would have called me Tuesday and said, hey, I'm unloading or I have to do this or do that, then I would have said leave it. Just leave it. Because, I mean, that's a lot of money to put out. Plus, I still have so much more to put out, right? So, and like I said, I would have rented a machine. I rented a machine for a day before, and we did it. It was me, my buddy, and my other buddy, and we started clearing the stump. We started clearing the trees. It was slow, but I know I could have rented that Mini X a few more times and slowly cleared it out, and it would have cost me to do it myself 10 grand. I would be left with the stumps and brush. I get that. But it would have been maybe 10 grand, and that would have been done. Maybe. So.
At least you can write me a check for 14.
Six.
Christ.
That's 16.5, right?
Yeah. And I'll eat all the rest. That's even more than fair.
It's a lot. It's a lot of money. I just think about it for a minute, okay? You just gotta, because your adjusted offer was 17.2, 17.6.
17.2.
17.2. And at 14 plus 2, that'd be 6,500 or 16,500.
I got to pay these guys, and I got to do all the rest of it.
Okay, 14,000 then. Check written. So that'd be 16.5 is what I paid you for the job.
Okay.
Honestly,
I'll do the adjustments when I go back.
it's one of those deals where neither side is happy, right? At the end of the day.
Yeah.
I'm sorry it didn't work out. I really am.
I really thought you would be jumping with joy to see it.
I am. I'm ecstatic. It's just the price. Again, if you would have said it's going to cost $20,000, I would have said no. And I told you that on the phone, right? I mean, I would have said don't do it.
All right, let's do that.
So I don't know who to make the check out to. Okay, let me. Correct. You spell it right.
Yep. All righty.
I'm sorry it didn't work, Bruce. I'm sorry it didn't.
Hey, communications, I guess, eh?
On both sides.
Yeah.
I should have said, my budget was, 12 grand or whatever.
Yep.
Well, yeah, because it didn't start out at 12 grand.
No,
Like,
well, that's
and
why.
that's-
And that's
Well, I'm saying that all you got was to back here, a few trees. You start coming in the road and stuff like that from the driveway in. You start off with 7 or 8 trees before you can get. Hey, I do it all the time. So when I got guys cutting and piling and sorting, and then I come back in. I got trucks back and forth. So it's kind of a combination thing going.
Right.
So, but once you get into doing something, you had how far back you're
Right.
putting it out. You just keep going and going until it's completed.
Right.
And then after you look at it, you go, oh,
Right.
I got 6 days in here, right off the bat, right?
Right.
So 6 days is
Yeah.
a piece of machinery. It cost you $200,000.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Then you have a $200,000 truck and a
Right.
$50,000 float to bring it in. So you end up at $500,000 doing work.
Yeah.
So you can see why it adds
Yeah.
up.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, give me a call if you get into the septic. And
Yeah, I'm sorry, Bruce. Like I
you're
said, I
dead nuts on that.
well, I mean, yeah. Well, I appreciate all the work. You did fantastic work. I'm not gonna
All right.
knock you by any
All right,
like
well,
you did.
hey.
I'm sorry.
No hard feelings.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you.
Oh, you too.
Yeah.
If you stuck around this long, thanks so much for watching. Leave your comment below. What do you think? Did he try to scam me to get more money, or did I not communicate great with him? The original quote again was $5,500. I'll put it on the screen. The final quote, there was cash, there was check, there was a whole bunch of things. $22,260.50 was the final bill. If you watched, you'll see I ended up paying $16,500. So technically, I saved $5,760.50. This whole video was very difficult to watch. Myself, super uncomfortable. The guy did $22,000 worth of work, if not more. If you look at the before and after photos, you'll see he cleared about 110 feet by 110 feet. So I don't know what that is, about a quarter of an acre. So quite a bit. And there were some big trees. So let me know your thoughts. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Northern Chris.